Hello there, everybody. This is Christy Lewis from Dostoevsky in Space. And today I'm going to be doing a brand new Febregency tag. So this is a collaborative tag that, all the hosts of Febregency put together. So hope that you'll enjoy watching and hopefully doing the tag along with us. So let's jump right into it. So first of all, we have name your top 3 Regency authors. Now, some of these questions are going to be tough for me because I'm relatively new to Regency reading. I've only started really reading it for fun since becoming a host for Febregency, just simply because I was reading Victorian literature, because that's what's like really, people talk about that a lot on booktube and it's easy to find Victorian recommendations. So I'm really grateful that now we have Febregency to help get people talking about Regency literature. So I've been getting recommendations and it's been so fun. I've discovered new favorites every year that we've done Febregency. So, and I expect that to be true this year as well. So, but top 3 authors, I mean, I'm going to have to go with Jane Austen, obviously. She's one that I've read all of her finished works of. I haven't read, I think it's the Watsons. There's like 1 or 2 works that Sanditon. Maybe Sanditon is about the Watsons. That's one that I haven't read yet. But I've read all her finished works, and I really should do like a ranking video. But that's like something that you do when you finish all of an author's works, and I really need to do that. I've been reading her since high school, so thanks to all the lovely adaptions that made me know about her. So, I also am really loving Samuel Johnson's Rambler essays. So I'll have to put Samuel Johnson up here. I'm a big fan of essays. So, I'm planning to read more of them this year, and hopefully I'll make some shorts or TikToks about them like I did last year. That was so fun. So the Rambler essays, and then I have to mention E.T.A. Hoffmann, even though he's not actually from England, but his writing is considered, like, it has Regency characteristics. It's very like romantic, it's like fantasy, and it's very dark. It's like gothic. It's gothic, I would say. So I just ordered a collection for my library so that I can read some more of his works, because I've always had trouble getting a hold of them. So I finally was just like, okay, I need to order one for the library. But The Sandman is a story that I've read over and over and over, and I just love it. It's so good. So, and his works have inspired famous like operas and stuff, like is it the Nutcracker? I don't remember. But anyways, yeah, I'm very excited to read more from both of them. And Sir Walter Scott and Washington Irving. I realize Washington Irving is an American, but again, his works really kind of reflect the period. So I'm counting them all. I love them all. So I probably read the most from Washington Irving, but I didn't want to put him in my top 3 necessarily, because I feel like I want to be talking mostly about English authors. So, but yes, I feel like all their works are emblematic of like the Regency period sensibilities. So, number 2 is name your top 3 Regency poets. So this is another shame of mine. I really need to read more. I've read Regency stuff because I studied English literature in school, but for fun, I haven't really read that in like, I don't know, 10 years. So, I need to read more, but I did really love William Blake's Songs of Innocence and Experience, which I read about. I remember that there was one poem that I read during school called The Poison Tree that I did an essay on, and I loved it so much that when Emma had us do a wonderful poetry salon, our first Febregency, I think it was, which, by the way, Jenny is in it. So if you're a big fan of Jenny and you're missing her, that could be a great salon to go watch. I'll link it down below in case you've never seen it. She does talk about some of her favorite poetry. So, yeah, that was a really special memory. And I learned about William Blake's Songs of Innocence and Experience. I learned a lot about them for that salon, and I really enjoyed that, researching that. So, and I know that John Donne isn't a Regency poet, but I do really enjoy his poetry, and it was very popular during the Regency. So, Kind of like how I'm always reading Shakespeare plays during febregency. And I'm always reading Jane Austen during febregency, even though the whole purpose is to read things that are popular during the Regency or Regency authors that we just never quite get around to. I still wanted to mention John Donne. I love his poetry. That's one that I learned about in school that I just loved. So, and also Sir Walter Scott's poetry, The Lady in the Lake, etc. So I need to read more of his though as well. Again, I'm not like super well informed about poetry, but I need to read some romantic poets definitely this year. In honor of Jenny, we're going to be reading some things that Jenny loved for febregency. So, okay, favorite historical event that happened during this time period in Britain or elsewhere? Well, I'm really fascinated by the Industrial Revolution. I did a lot of research for it when I was writing a book. One of my first books that I was writing, I think it was probably my second book. I did a lot of research about the Industrial Revolution when I was trying to decide what my setting was going to be like. And so that was really fun. I really enjoyed learning about that. And then also, I'm fascinated by the rise of abolitionism. Was it William Wilberforce, who was really like an outspoken proponent of abolitionism? I need to learn more about him. I know there's a biography out there about him, but anyways, and this question is so fun. The next one is, the year is 1816. It's a dark and stormy night on Lake Geneva. You're telling ghost stories with 3 legendary writers. Who are they? Bonus points if they're Regency era authors. So, y'all probably saw this coming, but Dostoevsky, please. I would want to be there with Dostoevsky. We need more short stories from Dostoevsky. I love his short stories. They're so absurd. They're so funny. They're hilarious. And I feel like he could definitely tell a mean ghost story. Like, there are definitely ghosts haunting St. Petersburg in his novels. Like, there's actually a ghost in Crime and Punishment, but it's not really talked about as much. And it just, everything feels so haunted in his portraits of St. Petersburg. So, next, E.T.A. Hoffman, please and thank you. He did write stuff that was kind of horror-esque. So I would love to hear a ghost story from E.T.A. Hoffman. I'm hoping that there will be some in the collection that I just ordered. So we'll see. I will be letting you know. And then Nikolai Gogol would be the other one, because like solely based on The Night Before Christmas, which has me just convinced that the guy would love a ghost story. Like, he would be able to tell a ghost story. There's like witches in it. I don't remember everything very well, but it was funny. It was like it was just so weird, but it was like fantastical. Like, it was great. And I know Jenny loved that story as well. So definitely Nikolai Gogol. Yeah. Okay. Next question is, the Regency era is named after the Regency of George, Prince of Wales, who ruled in the stead of his father, King George III, from 1811 to 1820. If you had to appoint a regent to rule your booktube channel in your stead, who would it be? So, honestly, most of my booktube friends would be way too busy for me to be like, you want to take on my channel? Like, some of them already have second channels or more. So, I hesitate to foist my channel on somebody. However, if I'm going to appoint a regent to rule my channel, who better than the bookish princess? I mean, she's clearly familiar with ruling. So, and I'm one of her subjects. I'm in her Bookish Kingdom book club. So definitely Emma. If you would ever feel like ruling my channel, have at her. Next is, much literature of the Regency period is categorized as romantic. What word would you use to describe today's literature? So I would say probably disenchanted is what I would say, which is a funny thing to say because we are living in like an era. I mean, maybe not as much now. For a long time, we were living in like an era that was great for fantasy and sci-fi. And I'm not saying it's not selling anymore. I just don't enjoy a lot of the fantasy that's being written now. But for a while, it was like, wow, fantasy. All the writers' imaginations are fresh with fantasy right now. But it is still a good age. It's still selling well. But what I mean by disenchanted is they don't feel, we live in an age of skepticism. Why don't I put it that way? and it's very concerned over social justice. So I feel like people, even though there is some great escapist literature coming out right now, I just feel like there's such a disenchantment with mystery of like the greater mystery and wonder that a lot of religious people share. That is absent from a lot of the literature that is published today. And I don't really know why. It's hard to find mystery that has that sense of wonder and that sense of mystery and exploring sort of supernatural things or fate and stuff like that. But I think there is some out there. It's just, I would say probably disenchanted would be a general descriptor of our current literature today. Okay, Shakespeare's plays were popular during the Regency. What artistic performance have you recently enjoyed? So movies, TV, and music can all count. So I wanted to mention a couple of performances that I've been watching. Lately, I've been really loving watching live performances of K-pop artists because even though the music videos have just such like appealing visuals, it's like eye candy, you know? It's really amazing watching K-pop groups perform because they're all so like synchronized, they're all so fit, and they're also like singing at the same time. Like it's an incredible work of art what they are doing. Like it's like it's a sport, man. It's like it is intense. So I really have been enjoying watching K-pop idols performing their music together. So a recent one that I'm obsessed with is Born to Be by ITZY. Like their dance practice and their music video and their performances of Born to Be, like the choreography is insane and it gets really stuck in my head, and it's such a short song. But yeah, I would highly recommend ITZY's Born to Be. And I've been watching a lot of performances, but recently ATEEZ just did a Mito version of their Crazy Form dance practice. So Crazy Form is their latest comeback. What do they call that? It's like the main song of the album. It's the album. Anyways, yeah. So Crazy Form Mito version, and Mito stands for Michin, which is crazy. So Crazy Form is the title of the song. Michin, and To is Toki, which is rabbit. So they are wearing rabbit ears in the music video. There's one move in the music video where they go like this, and it's like rabbit ears. It's so cute. Whenever ATEEZ does cute, I jump all over it because they have kind of a different vibe. They can do cute, and I'm always really happy when they give me cute. So it's a super cute performance, and the song is a hype song. Like that's really ATEEZ's vibe. They are like hype songs. I guess that's what I would say. Hype is that's their genre, that's their mood. They're always doing like hype anthems. So yeah, Crazy Form Mito version, very cute. Okay, but there's so many. I listed a bunch because it was hard for me to choose one. I also wanted to mention some of Jenny's favorite performances. So she loved a performance of ATEEZ's Wonderland on this show called Kingdom, which is available on the streaming service Viki, but the actual performance is available on YouTube. So I will link that down below. It's an incredible performance live. And I knew it was one of her favorites. She talked about it a lot. So, and there's so many others. EXO performing Growl, and then ATEEZ also did a Deja Vu performance in vampire makeup. They did like a Halloween vampire version. So good. They're all amazing performances. Okay, next, the Regents. ATEEZ is known for their performances, and I would say ITZY also is known for their dancing in particular. Like ITZY's dance game is so strong, and ATEEZ's performance game is so strong. So live, like ATEEZ is incredible. So anyways, the next question is, the Regency period was characterized by high fashion. What is a current fashion or trend in the booktube community that you adore or detest, or book community? So this could be on Instagram, it could be on Goodreads, it could be anywhere on the bookternet. So I personally, there's a lot of things that I adore that seem kind of in trend right now, and one of those is unedited videos. It's so much less stressful to be able to just post unedited videos, so I love that trend. I love that people do that. And I love library hauls as well, because I don't really have anything against people who buy a lot of books and commercialism and all that. That's not a problem. But I personally do not buy a lot of books. So anytime I do a haul, it's like people have bought me books, or it's like a mini haul that I've just picked up from the library. And I love library hauls. I love seeing what people pick out from the library. So yeah, library hauls, good trend. And vlogs, I don't know if vlogs ever go in or out, but I feel like Books in Lala has really made vlogs in, and Chandler Ainsley really made books like vlogs in, you know, and I'm grateful for that. Vlogs are so fun to watch, so fun to make, and so fun to watch like your past vlogs. Like watching the B-roll is really, really fun. So, and another thing that I love, another trend is mood reading. I feel like booktube is over read-alongs and readathons to some degree. Like people are just tired. At least I have gotten a bit tired of them. But I still do them because it's really fun to come together and all read the same thing and discuss it. But I love also that mood reading seems to be like a really acceptable practice on booktube, and maybe it always has been. But for me personally, I for a long time was super scheduled about my reading, and that really gave me so much stress. So mood reading has really brought the joy of reading back to me, and I'm kind of following where in the past, I didn't really trust my mood reading instincts because they would always lead me to like things that ended up being disappointing. So for a long time, reading scheduled things was a way to develop my taste. For me, I needed to do that. I needed to have a period where I was like, no, I'm determined to read these things. Even if it's hard, I'm going to fit it in. And I'm glad that I did that because it really did shape my reading tastes. And now I know better what I'm interested in, and I have more trust for myself to be able to pick and choose according to my mood. But at some point, I'll probably end up going back to scheduled reading as well, because it's easier to read with people if you're reading scheduled according to a schedule. But right now, that's not what I'm prioritizing. So, and then something that I'm really leaning away from is genre specific content. And I honestly I have trouble watching a lot of genre specific channels because, obviously I love the people, but if all they talk about is a genre that I am never really interested in reading, unless they do vlogs. If they do vlogs, I'm like, yeah, I'll be happy to watch your vlogs. But if it's just like, I don't know, list videos or talking about books in a genre that I never read, it's like, I don't know, it's just not as fun for me, I guess I would say. And it's really even less about what I watch, but more about like what I can do. I really struggled with the idea of needing to put out Russian literature content or, I don't know, classics content. Whereas for me, that's not what I don't read the same thing all the time. I have to be very free about it right now. So I'm leaning away from genre specific stuff at the moment. But not to say that I won't come back around. I mean, I do have things that I am obsessed with, and I read about them obsessively, like North Korea or South Korea specific content. Because I really want to read more Dostoevsky. I feel like I've taken quite a long break from reading him really regularly. So I really want to bring him back into my life. So, and I'm definitely doing that. I'm currently reading Notes from the Underground with Faith from Faith and Books and Peg from the History Shelf. And I think Tristan might join us, but I'm not positive. So Tristan from Tristan and the Classics. So yeah, I'm excited about maybe making some Dostoevsky content if I can fit it in. Okay, next, Jane Austen's novels show us the importance of etiquette in the drawing rooms of Regency England. Tell us about your personal rating system. So my personal rating system is basically, I tell you what I thought of the book that I finished, or what I'm thinking of the book as I'm blogging about it, or why I DNF'd the book. I don't really do ratings anymore, but for a while I was doing a 100% scale rather than 3-star, 4-star, 5-star. I was leaning away from the stars because people, I don't know, people were like, why would you do half stars? That's like defeating the purpose of star ratings. And so I was like, well, I guess if I can't do half stars, then I'll do 100%. But now I'm just like, why am I rating things? I'll just tell you what I think of it. Nobody needs a rating, but at the same time, I like ratings as well because it kind of gives you a feel of how somebody feels about the book. But I don't know. I feel like the more I have trouble with even things like not Goodreads, what's Storygraph. I even have trouble with Storygraph because like when I look at what people said, is it character driven or plot driven? Like it asks kind of like specifics and it asks people to kind of rate it. And even that is like too general for me to really get anything out of it. So I guess I just really want to hear specific thoughts about a book, not just 3-star, you know? So maybe rating systems I should have put I'm moving away from this. Detest is a strong word, but I'm moving away from rating system. But I think other people's rating systems are fascinating because I think other people don't feel the same way about rating systems as I do. So some people love them and they are kind of useful. For me, it's not working out at the moment. I just don't have time for like that super long form sit down, organize a book review. And that's where I think ratings would become easier because I would pinpoint exactly where on the scale of 100% I feel about this book. That's it for these questions. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today and watching this video. And I hope you guys will answer these questions for yourself. I would really love to hear your answers. And I'm really looking forward to all the febregency content. Okay, take care until next time. Bye.